Princess Kalara of the Zyrinthian Empire had married for political alliance, as all royalty did. The human, a quiet scholar named Aldrich from the distant world of Terra, had been recommended by the diplomatic corps as the perfect consort. Educated, cultured, soft-spoken, and most importantly, non-threatening. He would provide the Earth alliance her father desired without overshadowing Kalara herself, who was destined to rule the Empire one day. For 2 years, their marriage had been exactly as advertised, comfortable, respectful, and utterly uneventful. Aldrich spent his days in the palace library, translating ancient texts and teaching interested courtiers about human history. He was gentle with servants, kind to children, and completely uninterested in palace politics. His orange skin, a result of the genetic compatibility treatments that had allowed their marriage, complemented her own navy blue complexion. His blonde hair, chemically enhanced to match Zyrinthian aesthetic standards, grew long enough now to braid in the traditional style of consorts. He was perfect. He was boring. Kalara cared for him, certainly, but she'd never expected passion, never imagined fire beneath that calm exterior. Aldrich was a book, and she'd read all his pages within the first 6 months, or so she thought. The assassination attempt came during the Festival of Twin Suns, when the palace was crowded with nobles from across the empire. Kalara was accepting tribute in the Grand Hall, Aldrich seated quietly beside her as always, when the hired killers struck. They came disguised as performers, 7 of them, armed with plasma blades and moving with the precision of military operatives. The palace guards reacted immediately, but the assassins had positioned themselves perfectly. Within seconds, 4 guards were down and the attackers were closing on the royal dais. Kalara reached for the ceremonial weapon at her side, but she knew it wouldn't be enough. These were professionals. She was going to die. Then Aldrich moved. He didn't stand up slowly or call for help. One moment he was seated, the next he was in motion, fluid, impossibly fast, his hand sweeping to something hidden beneath his robes. The sword that appeared seemed to materialize from nowhere. It was nothing like Zyrinthian weapons, straight, simple, with a gentle curve along its single edge. The metal was dark, almost black, with a faint pattern like flowing water etched into the steel. An earth katana Kalara's mind supplied numbly. She'd seen pictures in historical texts. The first assassin reached the dais. Aldrich's blade moved in an arc so fast Kalara almost missed it. The assassin's plasma weapon clattered to the floor in 2 pieces. A second strike, equally swift, and the attacker was down, not dead, Kalara noted with shock, but incapacitated, the flat of the blade having struck with surgical precision. The other 6 assassins hesitated, reassessing. This was not the soft academic they'd been briefed on. "Protect the princess," Aldrich said, his voice perfectly calm despite the chaos. The remaining palace guards rallied, forming a defensive line. The assassins attacked as one. What followed was the most beautiful and terrible thing Kalara had ever witnessed. Aldrich didn't fight like a Zyrinthian warrior, all power and aggression. He fought like water, flowing around attacks, redirecting force, his blade singing through the air in precise, economical movements. Each strike disabled rather than killed, each motion transitioning seamlessly into the next. Within 90 seconds, all 7 assassins lay on the ground, alive but thoroughly defeated. The grand hall was silent except for heavy breathing and the quiet ring of Aldrich's blade as he cleaned it with a cloth produced from somewhere in his robes. He sheathed the weapon. It disappeared back into concealment and turned to Kalara with the same gentle expression he always wore. "Are you all right, my dear?" he asked, offering his hand to help her stand. Kalara stared at him. At this man she thought she knew. At her quiet, scholarly husband who had just dismantled 7 professional killers without breaking a sweat. "Who are you?" she whispered. Aldrich's smile was apologetic. "I should probably explain." The private audience chamber had never felt smaller. Kalara sat across from Aldrich, her personal guard, now quadrupled, stationed outside. She'd ordered privacy for this conversation, though she'd also kept a weapon close at hand, just in case. "Start talking," she said. Aldrich sighed, looking uncomfortable for perhaps the first time since their wedding. "I haven't lied to you, Kalara. Everything I've told you about myself is true. I am a scholar. I did study at the Academy of Historical Arts on Terra. I do genuinely enjoy translating ancient texts." "But," Kalara prompted, "but I may have omitted certain details about my background." Aldrich shifted in his seat. "Before I became a scholar, I was something else. My full name is Aldrich Kenji Tanaka. The Tanaka family has a very long history on Earth." "I'm familiar with Earth nobility," Kalara said. "The Tanakas are a respected but minor house." "Publicly, yes," Aldrich agreed. "What's less well known is that the Tanaka family has served as the Emperor's shadow for over 1,000 years. Were an assassination prevention unit. Royal bodyguards trained in ancient martial traditions, specifically the sword arts that developed on the Japanese islands of Old Earth." Kalara felt her world tilting. "You're an assassin." "I prevent assassinations," Aldrich corrected gently. "There's a significant difference. I was trained from childhood in combat, strategy, threat assessment, and protective protocols. By the time I was 20, I was the Emperor's primary bodyguard." He looked down at his hands. "I was very good at it." Kalara asked. "I retired at 25, Aldrich said. "The life, it takes a toll. Always vigilant, always expecting attack, never able to relax or trust or simply be. I saw things, did things, lost people. I wanted peace. I wanted to study history instead of making it, so I stepped down, enrolled in the academy, and tried to become someone else. And then you married me," Kalara said slowly, understanding dawning. "This wasn't a coincidence, was it? The diplomatic corps didn't just randomly select a human scholar." "No," Aldrich admitted. "When your father reached out to Earth for an alliance through marriage, several candidates were proposed. I wasn't among them initially. But Earth's intelligence services had detected threats against your life. The same faction that tried to kill you today. They've been planning this for months. So Earth sent their trained killer disguised as a harmless academic to be my bodyguard," Kalara finished, her voice cold. "Yes," Aldrich said simply. "I'm sorry, the deception was necessary." "You've been lying to me for 2 years." "I've been protecting you for 2 years," Aldrich countered, his voice still calm but firm now. "And yes, I've been deceptive about my capabilities, but everything else, my interest in you, my respect for your culture, he hesitated, "my feelings for you, all of that is real." Kalara stood, pacing. "What feelings? You barely talk to me beyond pleasantries. You spend all your time in the library. You've been the perfect, distant, political husband." "Because that's what you seem to want," Aldrich said, his composure finally cracking. You made it clear from the beginning this was a political arrangement. You needed an alliance with Earth, not a passionate romance. I tried to give you space, to not impose, to be useful without being intrusive. And yes, I stayed distant because... He ran a hand through his blonde hair, frustration evident. Because I was terrified you'd discover what I was and hate me for the deception. I do hate it, Kalara said. But I don't hate you, I don't know you, the real you. Then let me tell you, Aldrich said quietly. Ask me anything, no more secrets. Kalara sat back down, studying her husband with new eyes. The gentle academic was still there, but now she could see what she'd missed, the way his eyes constantly tracked movement in any room, the controlled precision in every gesture, the coiled readiness beneath the calm exterior. That sword, she said. Where did you hide it? I've seen you in far less clothing than you're wearing now. There's nowhere to conceal a weapon that size. Aldrich smiled slightly. Dimensional storage, old Earth technology, technically illegal under current treaty restrictions, but grandfather claused for certain traditional families. The sword exists in a pocket dimension until I call it. It's been with me every moment since we married. Always ready to protect me, Kalara said. Always, Aldrich confirmed. The assassins today, why didn't you kill them? Because I'm not an assassin, Aldrich said firmly. I disable, disarm, incapacitate. Killing is a last resort, used only when there's no alternative. Those men were hired weapons, not true believers. They'll face trial, provide information about who hired them, and possibly find redemption. Dead men provide nothing. That's very compassionate for someone trained to kill. It's because I was trained to kill that I understand its weight, Aldrich said. Every life taken is a failure of alternatives. My masters taught me that the greatest warrior is one who wins without drawing blood. Kalara was quiet for a moment. You said you have feelings for me. What did you mean? Now Aldrich looked genuinely uncomfortable. Kalara, I've spent 2 years living with you, watching you govern with wisdom and compassion, seeing you care for your people even when they don't appreciate it. You're brilliant, dedicated, and far stronger than you give yourself credit for. I've been falling in love with you since the first month, but I couldn't say anything because I was living a lie and you deserved better than a husband built on deception. Kalara's breath caught. You love me. Yes, Aldrich said simply. But I understand if you can't forgive the deception. If you want to annul the marriage, I'll support that decision. You deserve a partner you can trust. Stand up, Kalara ordered. Aldrich stood, confused. Show me, Kalara said. Show me who you really are. Summon your sword. Kalara, I don't think. Show me, she insisted. Aldrich's hand moved in a complex gesture. The black katana materialized in his grip, the blade catching light like flowing water. His entire demeanor shifted, the gentle scholar disappearing, replaced by something else. Still calm, but now purposeful, dangerous, completely present in the moment. This is who I was, he said quietly. Aldrich Tanaka, the Emperor's shadow, the weapon that protected Earth's throne. And now, Kalara asked, stepping closer. Now I'm just a man trying to protect the woman he loves, Aldrich said, while also trying to be the scholar I wanted to become. Both are real, both are me. I never knew how to show you both without. Kalara kissed him. It was the first real kiss of their marriage, not the chaste, ceremonial contact of their wedding, but something genuine and fierce and long overdue. When she pulled back, Aldrich was staring at her in shock. I've been waiting 2 years for you to show me something real, Kalara said. Something passionate. I thought you were content with a cold, political marriage. I thought I'd married a man who tolerated me out of duty but felt nothing. I feel everything, Aldrich said hoarsely. I just didn't know how to show it without revealing. Everything else, yes, Kelara finished. Well, now I know you're a warrior scholar who's been protecting me while pretending to be harmless. You've been in love with me while maintaining perfect political distance. You're far more complicated than I ever imagined. She took the sword from his hand, examining it. The blade was exquisite, centuries old, possibly older. This has history. 16 generations of my family have carried it, Aldrich said. Each master adds their name to the tang. It's called Tsuki no Cage, Moon's Shadow. It suits you, Kelara said, handing it back. Both the blade and the name. You've been my shadow for 2 years, and I never even noticed. That was rather the point of being a shadow, Aldrich said with a slight smile. Well, no more, Kelara declared. From now on, I want the real Aldrich, scholar and warrior, both. Can you do that? It might be. Intense, Aldrich warned. The warrior part doesn't really do things halfway. Good, Kelara said. I'm tired of halfway. I'm tired of political distance and careful restraint. If we're going to rule this empire together eventually, I need a true partner, someone who'll stand with me, fight beside me, and yes, love me. Can you be that? Aldrich's expression shifted, the calm exterior remaining but now backed by visible intensity. Yes, but Kelara, you need to understand what you're asking for. Those assassins today were just the first wave. There are more coming. The intelligence suggests a coordinated effort to destabilize the empire by eliminating you. If I stop holding back, if I actually embrace the role of your protector and consort fully, things are going to get very dangerous very quickly. Then it's good I have the Emperor's shadow on my side, Kelara said. Former Emperor's shadow, Aldrich corrected. No, Kelara said firmly. Now you're my shadow, my protector, my warrior consort, and together we're going to find whoever sent those assassins and end this threat permanently. A slow smile spread across Aldrich's face, not the gentle, scholarly smile she was used to, but something sharper, more predatory. Very well, my princess, though I should warn you, once I fully commit to protecting someone, I can be somewhat overwhelming. Show me, Kelara challenged. Over the next weeks, Kelara discovered what overwhelming meant. Aldrich reorganized the entire palace security system, identifying 17 separate vulnerabilities that had existed for years. He personally trained her guard in new defensive techniques, blending Zyrinthian combat styles with Earth martial arts. He established intelligence networks throughout the capital, tracking the assassination conspiracy to its source. And he did it all while maintaining his scholarly pursuits, somehow finding time to translate ancient texts between combat training sessions and strategic planning meetings. But more than that, he was present in ways he'd never been before. He attended court sessions, offering quiet but insightful political advice. He stood openly at Kelara's side during public appearances, his protective instincts no longer concealed. He was affectionate in private, passionate in their chambers, and utterly devoted in every aspect. The palace had noticed the change. Whispers spread about the gentle consort who'd revealed himself to be a deadly warrior. Some called him the hidden blade, others the scholar sword. The assassins who'd survived their encounter called him something else, the demon in academic robes. Kelara called him husband and meant it fully for the first time. 2 months after the first assassination attempt, they finally tracked the conspiracy to its source. Lord Vexian, a high-ranking noble who'd been orchestrating Kalara's death to install a puppet ruler he could control. The confrontation happened in Vexian's own estate. Kalara insisted on being present, and Aldrich, after significant argument, agreed on the condition that he handle the actual combat. Vexian had hired an army, 30 elite mercenaries, all expecting to face palace guards and maybe one surprisingly skilled human. They weren't prepared for Aldrich. He moved through them like shadow itself, Moon's shadow singing through the air, disabling weapons, incapacitating attackers, never killing but leaving no one standing. Kalara watched in awe as her husband demonstrated why Earth's imperial family had trusted his bloodline for a millennium. When only Vexian remained, cowering behind an overturned table, Aldrich didn't strike. He simply stood there, blade ready, and waited. "He's yours," Aldrich said to Kalara. "Your judgment, your justice." Kalara stepped forward, looking down at the noble who'd tried to kill her. "Lord Vexian, you are under arrest for treason, conspiracy to commit murder, and crimes against the Empire. You will face public trial, and if convicted, you will spend the rest of your life in the deepest prison we have. Take him." Palace guards, who'd been waiting for Aldrich's signal, moved in to secure Vexian. As they walked out of the estate, Kalara took Aldrich's hand. "Thank you for protecting me, for trusting me to make the final decision." "You're the future Empress," Aldrich said. "I may be your protector, but you're the ruler. That must always be clear." "We're partners," Kalara corrected. "You protect, I rule. Together, we're stronger than either of us alone." Aldrich smiled, the real smile, the one that combined scholar and warrior, gentleness and strength. "Together," he agreed. That night, standing on their private balcony overlooking the capital, Kalara reflected on the past 2 years. She'd married a calm human scholar expecting a quiet political alliance. Instead, she'd found a warrior poet who'd literally turned the world upside down to protect her, who loved her with the same intensity he brought to combat, who was both the gentle academic and the deadly shadow, and somehow made both work. "No regrets?" Aldrich asked, appearing beside her with his customary silence. "Only that it took an assassination attempt for you to show me who you really were," Kalara said. "Promise me no more secrets, no more hiding parts of yourself." "No more secrets," Aldrich agreed. He summoned Moon's shadow, the blade materializing in the moonlight. "Though I should warn you, I have 16 generations of sword techniques to teach you. If you're going to rule an empire, you should know how to actually fight, not just carry ceremonial weapons." Kalara grinned. "Is that a challenge, husband?" "It's a promise, wife," Aldrich replied. And as he began teaching her the first forms, moving behind her to guide her stance, both gentle and demanding, Kalara realized something profound. She hadn't just married a calm human. She'd married a storm pretending to be a breeze, and she wouldn't have it any other way.